Hi there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Chicken Police. Painted red, I suppose, is the subtitle, but Chicken Police is just fine. Alright, so this is a noir detective sort of themed game, which grabs me immediately, because that's one of my favourite genres in movies and all that. We'll see how we go, if it leans adventure, sort of hidden pixel mode, which is not exactly my favourite type of game, but you seem to play as like fucking humans with chicken heads. It's so crazy. Probably borderline furry, yet I still find it compelling, even though I am like Scarlet Seeker, known furry hater and despiser. So we'll see how we go. Like I said, I find it compelling despite all my biases stacked against it, so we're gonna give it a bloody red hot go and see if we can get a good laugh out of it. Alright. Dead men are heavier than broken hearts. Oh, very noir.
I ran out to get a pack of cigarettes, but I left my wallet at home.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's me. I'm getting old. My name is Sonny Featherland.
Yeah, of course it
an
is.
Investigator for 20 years.
Yeah.
And once the star of the predatory division of the Clawville Police Department. One half of the legendary Chicken Police. But buying a pack of smokes is more than I can handle right now.
Yeah, right, okay.
Maybe I should just lay low. Yeah, I'll do that. The most colorful place in the wilderness.
Yeah, right.
For all the gods, what bullshit. The last clucking color left this city years ago.
He's got a picture of a budgerigar in his car.
Too.
Oh my god, furries. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Still, what do I expect?
It sets a good first impression.
We're living in a vast experiment, and don't even notice that everything got clucked up a long time ago.
Yeah.
We believe in this wonderland of peaceful coexistence.
Yeah.
Wolves and sheep, chickens and hounds. Yeah, sure. Why not? It's just ridiculous. The dog eats the chicken. It's in our nature. I'm not propping up the illusion anymore. 121 days.
Nearly at retirement.
Retirement.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, why? Why would you say that, sir? Clawville City, Rourke District. Nah. I don't like what I just saw then.
Crap. My office lock is a piece of shit if a dame can pick it. She stood in the darkness. The light painted stripes on her body. It whispered secret little things that were never there in the first place. But she was no zebra. Reality was just a light switch away. Elizabeth or Charlotte? I was sure she'd have a sophisticated sounding name. She had a bygone look in her eyes, older than this ancient building, and perhaps the whole city itself. Or maybe I'm just drunk.
That's possible.
But she was the first womanly thing in my place for a long time, so I had to give her a chance.
Yeah, right. I like that he's wearing a fucking tie. Okay. So I press X. Alright, so it is a bloody point-and-click adventure, basically. Oh, I like that scrolls around. Oh, well, let's talk to this bloody Sheila.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Deborah.
No, I don't like what I'm looking at.
You're mistaken, ma'am.
Oh, really? Please enlighten me, Mr. Featherland.
I'm not a private eye. I'd recommend Mr. Philmar Lowe instead of me. He's a nice guy.
Believe me, Mr. Featherland, it's not an accident I came to you.
Oh, yeah.
Look, miss, I work for the police, and I'm currently on leave. I couldn't accept private commissions even if I wanted to. Not even from a classy dame like you.
Don't flirt with it.
Am I that easy to read?
That's my job. But tell me, since you've invited yourself in, would you like a drink?
I don't usually drink.
Yeah, don't start.
Well, I've got to have one. And it'd be rude of me to drink alone. So, maybe some sherry?
If you insist. But bourbon, please.
Thank the wild ones. That's all I have.
There you
What
go.
a coincidence.
So come on, spill it from the beginning.
I've been tricked into playing a furry game. Alright. You had a drink with the Sheila. And she didn't tell me anything.
I
Typewriter.
promised myself I'd write a novel one day.
Okay.
Every whiskey has the same color nowadays. At least in this price range.
Okay.
I don't even know what these papers are.
Okay. Do I have an objective? People, places. She runs errands for her employer. A sophisticated lady, but I don't think she's from a particularly wealthy or influential family. Okay. The chicken police. Stats. Didn't I already talk to her?
That's better. Now, if I understand correctly, your mistress is receiving threats. What kind of threats exactly?
It's a very strange matter. First, there were letters. Then it came printed on a wine bottle's label, sent as a gift. Then carved into a brick, thrown through the window. And finally, they painted it on the wall of the house in giant red letters.
I think it's time to dig a little deeper. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some routine questions.
Please, that's why I'm here.
Ugh. New function, questioning. Alright, what's this? Clues. The victim, a lady, is the target of strange threats, all of them written. Yeah, tell me more. Do I just have to...
So, this is the part where the interrogation comes.
This game's
What
trying to
these
trick me into having a
detectives-
gameplay loop, but it's just a visual novel so
Something
far.
like that, Deborah. Yes.
Where's the interrogation thing?
So,
Something like that.
It said new... It said I had a new thing. Interrogation. Or something. Question. Here we go. Focus on what you want to know about the suspect. Okay. Is he suspicious? I am suspicious. Why are you suspicious? Very good. Okay. Alright. Gather impressions from the impressions. Suspicious. So many... Okay. Detective meter. Blah, blah, blah. I like that. Okay, very
I
good.
must be cautious and smart. This dame seems shy,
Okay.
which I can use to my advantage. But I must be careful about what I say to her, or I can scare her off. Let's start gently, and when the time comes...
Don't know about this front-on shot. Alright, well that's all I can say, right? Who exactly are you?
ma'am?
I'm not somebody important, Mr. Featherland.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
important enough to deal with such a delicate matter, right?
I carry out the wishes of my employer, nothing more. This means simple paperwork.
You've been thrown into
Oops.
deep water, sweetheart. Tell me, can you even swim?
Would it... Okay.
Believe me, this is just as unpleasant for me as it is for you, if not even more.
Right. What's this? Shy, doubtful, new clue. Detective meter. Plus, I think. You're not very confident. Are you sure you're alright? Tell me which part of the city you live in. Yeah, where do you
Tell
live?
me, which part of the city do you live in? Calavera Hills? Flowerville, maybe?
Look, I don't want to answer that. I'm here on behalf of my employer, and not on personal business.
Oh, is that so?
Fair point, Deborah. Let's try a different approach.
Okay, I see. I still got a plus. Stop playing the Fright and Pray Sunshine and start singing. Yeah, let's squeeze her.
Stop playing the frightened prey, Sunshine, and start singing.
Let's go.
Please, I don't like this cocky behavior. Excuse the expression.
Oh, yes.
Look, maybe it's best if we act like we never met, and you gallop out of here on your pretty long legs before I get rude. I can be rude, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Featherland.
Happens to most people, you know.
Right. Oh, okay, that didn't go well. Do you break into strangers'
Tell
homes
me,
often?
do you break into strangers' homes often?
But please, I've heard you're straightforward and...
Rude?
Yes, exactly. But
And you're galloping away from the question, ma'am. No offense, of course.
what can I say? It's a racial trait. Everybody has to be good at something.
You're right about that.
Okay. Do you even know what you want? She won't like that. Why did you come to visit me? Why not your employer herself?
Why did you come to visit me? Why
That
not
makes
your
sense.
Employer herself.
My employer is Miss Natasha Katsenko.
Cat
She hasn't
Zinko.
been leaving her home lately. Only if she really has to.
Ah.
How so?
Miss Natasha is afraid. She's scared because of those unwanted messages. And everyone knows who she is.
Right.
So she's that kind of woman.
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you do, Deborah. Thank you, by the way. We're finally getting somewhere.
I know, right?
You avoided the point long enough. Deborah's hiding something, no question. Let's focus on that.
Yeah. Let's do that. How did you get this address? What do you want from me? I'm not sure it's intentional, but are you toying with me? What exactly are you expecting by coming? Yeah, here we go. Let's go.
What exactly did you expect by coming here to meet me?
I expected your help. Just like my mistress said.
Oh, that's very nice. But have you seen this neighborhood? Have you seen this wreck called a hotel? Who were you hoping to find in a place like this?
Someone reliable
Well, I am reliable.
Yeah.
and discreet
That's right.
and thorough
No question about that.
Yeah.
and has a heart of gold.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Okay, let's stop it right there.
Alright. Are you in some sort of jam? Come on, I mean, we've got the idea. These dancing around at questions are getting a bit much. I can't take the case. Are you in some
Are
sort
you
of
in
jam?
some sort of jam?
Nothing of the sort. There are simply things better left unsaid.
Oh, fuck's sake. Like,
Then you're
the writing's a bit...
wasting my time.
Yeah, well, that's a good summary. This writing's a little bit too meandering,
I
you know?
trust your instincts. You'll manage it.
Yeah, and I have no other choice, right?
To be honest, no, Mr. Featherland. Not really.
I think this whole thing is a little suspicious. Yeah, we've avoided... Deborah's hiding something. Let's focus on that, right? Have you ever felt truly vulnerable? What the fuck has this got to do with anything? Oh,
Don't you think this whole thing is a little suspicious?
Look, Santino. I'll explain everything.
I
Yeah,
have
do
no
it.
doubt about that. You look just the type, sweetheart. No offense.
well, let her!
I'll take that as a compliment. Or maybe I'll act like I haven't heard it.
You see, we're starting to understand each other.
If you won't come clean, what's the point of all this? Why should I believe you at all? She hasn't really said anything. They're getting messages thrown through their window and that's it.
If you won't come clean, what's the point of all this?
But, Mr. Featherland,
I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I'm way too old for this game.
please,
Yeah.
just think again. For me and my mistress's sake.
Yeah,
Tell
why
me, Deborah, why should I believe you at all?
Because my mistress trusts you.
Should that be enough?
If you really like what she thinks you are, then yes.
Damn, what can I say to that?
Look, I didn't mean to back you up against the wall.
You have a way with words, sweetheart. Did you ever want to be a cop?
No, not for the world.
Heh, smart answer.
Be honest and tell me what you were so... Fuck me.
Be honest and tell me what you're so afraid of.
You know, Mr. Featherland, my mistress's partner is Hobart Wessler. Or as most people know him.
Ibn Wessler, the Kingpin.
Exactly.
Right.
Feathery gods help me.
So you get it now. The secrecy.
To put it mildly, I think I understand it all. Wessler. This little piece of the puzzle changes everything.
What do you mean focus at? Oh my god. Right. I like the look of this game and the vibe, but I think at this early stage, I can tell you, I'm not going to like this game. The writing is so uniquely, it upsets me. I don't like it, but it's not good for unusual reasons, right? I don't mind if well, it's no, hang on. Let me rephrase. There's bad writing. There's just bad writing in games, right? And we address that often. Usually, quite often it's the weak part of a video game, right? Because if they were a good writer, they'd be writing for Netflix and not for some video game. This writing with the noir feel and the sort of the dueling in it is actually well done. So the writing itself, like substantially, is very well written and well themed and very cool. How they're sort of, well, yeah, dueling but back and forth. But I think the problem is how they've implemented it with the detective system, that I'm supposed to stay on point or something, and it's giving me fucking vague questions. I don't truly understand what I'm at. Like, I'm a detective. I'm trying to figure out, I would think I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the case, but it's not giving me questions that allow me to interrogate the question in a way, or the topic at hand. And it's infuriating. I've never seen anything like this before, and it reads as padding. It's they just made that whole section go for like 15 minutes of me questioning this Sheila, random questions that meant nothing, that had nothing to do with anything, that were all over the place. And I think they've gone and they've lent, you know what? They've lent too hard into the theme in that writing structure, and they've forgotten that it's actually supposed to be a game first, as opposed to, here, click on all these clever lines that we wrote that you might find clever. It's like, okay, cool, but that's not a video game. It's not even a choose your own adventure. It's just a list of shit that you wrote in a noir theme. Anyway, let's persevere, I suppose. But I thought it's worth raising. I've never seen anything like this before, and it frustrates me. Something shocking. Alright, so I've got all these bloody clues. Well, now what do I do? Like, do I just keep questioning this bloody Sheila or what? I mean, can I do whatever I want?
I wanted to travel the world when I was a kid, but I think I'm gonna end up dead in here, whether I like it or not.
See, I don't mind that. That's good, like, little stings when I look at things. How do I leave this place? Bedroom door? Let me go question the cat or whatever. It's not telling me what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Here we go, I got like this, got greenhorn ranking or whatever. So do I talk to you some more?
Why don't you take it to the police? Just go there and file a report. Photos, flashing lights, fingerprints, you know the drill. The evidence is very clear. Even a moderately talented detective could easily wrap this case up. Or just try the phone. 555 111.
Please, take a look at this.
Well, okay. Let's see.
What is this now?
I know Molly very well. Please note this when deciding whether or not to accept my assignment. Miss Ibanez is a trusted friend. Treat her as gentleman. N.
So she's actually been sent by her boss, not just trying to help her
Hit
boss.
on the back of my head with a blackjack. Reality tilted. Molly. Good gods. What was her name doing there? I glanced at the opposite wall with the well-worn picture frames. Like an eternally dark hole in the wall. A missing piece. She was wearing a light silk dress and singing a lullaby. The waves caressing her beautiful long legs. Why Molly? Why now?
Mr. Featherland?
What?
Santino, are you all right?
What the hell is this supposed to mean?
I don't know anything, Mr. Santino. My mistress told me to give this to you. She said you'd understand. Don't you?
Oh, of course I understand, Miss Ibanez. I get it very well. But this case is becoming more and more confusing. It's starting to look like blackmail.
Oh, is it?
Blackmail.
Don't play innocent with me.
But
All right. When can I visit?
visit me?
Not you. Miss Katsenko.
Oh, yes. You can find her at the Tsar Club.
Didn't
Right.
you tell me she's not the social kind? That she's especially unsociable? Or does she only like loud and crowded clubs?
No, she's really not like that. But she owns the place.
Judging by the flyer, it must be a very busy club, especially on New Year's Eve, right?
I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding Miss Katsenko. But there's one small problem, Mr. Featherland.
All right, go on.
Let me guess. Mr. Wessler better not know about my visit.
Wait, what? What is this jump?
Exactly. How did you know?
20 years experience, ma'am. Oh, and please, call me Sonny.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Sonny.
I'll talk about the rest with Ms. Katsenko in person. A good friend of mine would be happy to take you home if you'd like.
I'd appreciate that, Sonny.
All right, now what? Yeah, good. I want to go to the club. How do I get out? I don't even know where my door is. There's a bedroom
Behind
door?
that door lies the kingdom of dirty clothes, cigarette butts, and empty bottles.
Phone? Lewis's number. Where'd the number go again? 555932.
Hey, Lewis. Am I bothering you?
Question mark. Lewis.
Could you come over? I've got a favor to ask if you're not busy.
For you, anything. Just a minute.
Lewis arrived a few minutes later.
Alright.
He lived in the rooms above, so it wasn't difficult getting here. Not to mention that he's a rabbit. It was a quick hop. The Atlas Hotel was his inheritance. It was once a well-renowned place, but not anymore. The last economic crisis ruined it. And now, besides me, he was the only resident of this enormous place.
Yeah, right. So now I've got to talk to him. Alright, well look, you know what, Tim? I'm going to wrap it there, right? This is around about time. I can tell you straight up, this isn't really a game for me, and that's not necessarily a knock against it, right? This channel, I showcase all sorts of games. It piqued my interest because look how unique it is. I had to look at it, but anyone that knows me at all knows that this is not really my genre. So I'm not trying to knock it for that, but more I'm putting it on my channel. Maybe there are people that are into this sort of thing. So it's a point and click adventure, which as a general rule of thumb, I avoid them. You've seen the few times that I play them on the channel. I just don't like them because I don't find them very intuitive. Usually they're not like doing a 2 + 2 = 4, you know, like an intuitive, logical math puzzle. And a lot of the time it's writing that thinks it's very clever, and it's really not. And I've made this point many times before. And the writing, as we covered, the writing actually seems fairly well realized thematically in the noir sort of setting and the sort of tropes that noir writing would be. But this game seems to have forgotten that it's a game. The best example I can draw to is LA Noire, which I think is a phenomenal game, and it is a gumshoe detective thriller like this. Except when you do all your interrogation questions and all that, it's very clearly a game. Now that, just while we're on it, The mechanics in that, it was about reading facial expressions and they were a bit janky, so, you know, it had its failings, but at least as a broad concept, the gameplay loop made sense and people understood what they were supposed to do. You know, ask the questions, zone in on the evidence, it was all very pointed and sensible, yet it still kept the thematic trappings. This bullshit detective stuff that was going on before wasn't a gameplay mechanic, because if you strip it out, strip it back, go 100-foot view, it goes, you got to solve this objective at the end. Okay, it gives me 5 questions that have absolutely no correlation or direct thread or anything to the objective, and it expects me to pick them arbitrarily. If I can't pick a decision based on anything, then that's just terrible. And so you meander along, bloody dueling with this chick, flirting with her, talking about shit, and it took 15 minutes for her to even mention what she was there for and what the case is about. So, like I said, while this genre is not necessarily for me, I still think within the genre, there's a big fault that the writers are kind of, like, I know it's disparaging, but it feels like they're too busy patting themselves on the head and the back for their clever writing to actually recognize that you're supposed to deploy it as a video game for someone to play a game. But that's just sort of my take. So yeah, look, I'm happy to show it off. It's got some really interesting stuff here, and you never know, the story might go places. It might be really cool, and it might be up your alley. So at the very least, I'm glad to have put it on people's radar. But yeah, definitely not for me, for sure. But for as far as theme and all that, broadly speaking, it gets that right. So, you know, I will concede that much. Yeah. Anyway, that's just sort of my thoughts. Like I said, not knocking it overtly, other than the fact that I don't think it's really a game. So, yeah. All right, team. Thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.